All right. So this is, I think, episode 7 or 8 now?
I have no clue.
Episode
I have no clue, but I am an
all right.
avid listener.
This is the next episode of the Head Start Running podcast. We're doing a little bit. I'm doing a little bit of an intro for you guys because it's a little bit of a bigger podcast. We have Paul Tommolino, James Flockhart, and Ari Zucker. Of course, we got me and Jonah Komazinski, the Head Start Running co-hosts of the podcast. This is different because we got these three guys. They're seniors in high school right now, and they just finished up their last cross country season. So, how are you guys doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Finished the year off we finished the year off pretty well, I would have to say, Paul. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that. It was a hard year. We had great races. Everybody tried real hard. A lot of people made PRs, and it felt like a really great year.
That's a good overall description. I guess that would probably be the goal of a good season, to have PRs, working hard. I guess who wants to start? Because Paul and Flockhart, you guys both raced at state quals, right? That was your final race.
Yeah. I mean, this was my first year doing cross country since sophomore year, since I was injured junior year.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so this was it was very big for me to like come back and get in the shape for cross country because I hadn't done it in so long. It had been such a long time since I'd done Sunken Meadow, especially the 5K. I mean, for everyone, it was like that. I mean, none of us had done the 5K for a really long time, and that's it's a very weird situation to be in, being like used to running the 2.5, and for me not being used to running any of the races. So like I had big steps to make. I mean, at the start of the season, I'll just tell you my time. I ran like a 1950 at the start of the season, just because I was just the 5K, like it hit me out of nowhere. I was not used to those hills. I mean, I ended up PRing by over a minute running 18:38, but the first time you run Sunken Meadow after not running it for a while, it hits you, man. It hits you hard.
That I know for a fact. That's in cross country, especially. That's one thing that Julian's trying to enter. Should we because he said he wasn't gonna be able to make it. All right, yeah, let's let him in.
Calling us from his dinner?
I guess so. Okay, so while he's entering, we'll see what happens then. But Flockhart, just to add to what you had to say, I know for a fact in cross country, getting onto the course pre-race, or for you guys, it was good to race on that same course multiple times because you sort of learned how to run the course. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Julian left again. Whatever. Okay.
I just want to say one thing though.
Yeah, go for it.
I agree totally what you said with like running on the course, because according to DeLuca, my first 5K of the season was abysmal. I don't know why, but he described my race like that because I ran a 19:10 5K, and then I came out the next time running a 5K running an 18:20.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I ran a 19:30 5K, and then I ran an 18:20, and it's just like, well, Paul, your first race was abysmal, so why? Thank you, DeLuca.
Ari, what describe your season a little bit, because I know you were in a very interesting circumstance.
I was. So I was looking forward to the best season of my life. I had my previous cross country seasons had been improving drastically, and I was expecting really big things, and then I got COVID right in the beginning of the season. I have no idea how it happened. I don't know where I got it. I didn't give it to anybody, so I don't know how it really happened. But I had really long-term hard effects in my lungs, and I had a difficult time breathing, and I really couldn't participate in a lot of the runs, workouts, or races. But I, for the most part, never stopped coming to practice. I kept trying to keep running as well as I could. And by the end of the season, I was able to compete in divisions. And then I was able to come back, not not nowhere near to where I expected to be, but I got back to some extent.
Did you have a good summer training?
I had a very good summer training. Yeah. No, that's kind of part of the reason why I was so frustrated, because like I spent the whole summer really getting a lot of preparation in, and then it all kind of felt like it was for nothing.
And that question for the other guys real quick, just to
I
ask.
feel like we all kind of felt that last year because remember we had that huge waiting period because they like switched our seasons around. Like we did winter, then cross country, and then spring. I feel like we all did summer training, right?
Right? We started summer training like in the summer, but it basically continued. We had our own sort of version of a cross country season, just without any,
Yeah, but it was like switched, right?
Yeah.
It was summer training went good though. We the mileage was definitely toned down from last year. I think our longest run was a 10-mile run.
We were having 25-mile max weeks. Like our highest week was 25 miles, which is very low for cross country. Like even talking to college coaches now, I talked to the Cortland coach, and they have like 50-mile weeks, and so like especially for cross country, like it's even low for like track, like long distance track standards, but 25 miles a week is pretty low. But I really like that training. I think I responded well to it. But I would understand for someone that might be more inclined to like higher distances, like 10-mile runs, might have liked the training less. But personally, for me, I liked the lower mileage training.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And to speak to that lower mileage, I know you guys, you're saying you're doing lower mileage, but in a way, not a lot of teams, or truthfully, I don't know what teams are doing in Section 11 right now, but from past experience, I know a lot of teams don't really do workouts over the summer. Didn't you guys do some? I mean, I remember being there for some.
Yeah.
I think we did like a couple 400s and stuff like that, and like I know that I did a lot of the workouts just like on my own because it just turned out that I wasn't there a lot. Like I was obviously at summer training, but still it was nice to get a couple workouts in and stuff.
Yeah, just get the legs moving.
Yeah, but I remember like 2 summers ago, not this past summer, we would do like 50, 60-mile weeks and then like a progression back, like from 8-mile run, which is
that's
nice.
True. But Julian just keeps trying to enter just because I don't want to disrupt the flow. Should I just, I'll try one more time.
Don't let this guy in.
Don't let him in. I'm going to try one more time. We'll try one more time. Because he keeps trying. That means he wants to be here. So, is he in? It says it's
Julian.
Julian?
Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, Julian.
Yes, we can hear
Julian,
you.
you're on the Head Start Running podcast.
I'm on the side of the road right now. Can you see
Wait,
my
no,
face?
start driving.
We can't
start
see.
driving.
Well, it's very dark.
We should just like continue the conversation while Julian fills it.
It's very dark outside right now.
Okay, so Julian, we're just gonna
How long have
continue
you guys been going for?
Just like
5-10
minutes.
All
All right, guys. Let's get back to
Getting off of track.
We're getting off of track. Let's just get right back on track. Okay.
Yeah.
So I believe we were talking about summer training and how you guys were doing workouts. Okay. Paul, I know you were describing how some of those workouts you did on your own, but nonetheless, you guys as a team, you did the workouts, meaning you got sort of your legs turning earlier than usual. Whereas, in my sophomore, junior, not so much senior year, but in my and Jonah's past years, we would at points get up to, I think it was around 45 miles, 50 miles at one point. In my opinion, though, and I know mileage is a very controversial topic, but that was probably too much. Jonah, do you have anything to say about that?
Does he?
You're
Is
muted,
Jonah-
by the way.
I said for me personally, I loved it. I liked the higher mileage. I liked the way it made me feel, just like building up to that. And I felt like the best shape aerobically when I was doing the highest mileage. And I don't think that contributed to injuries. It's weird because in the middle of the summers when the mileage was highest, I would not be injured at all. But then like when mileage would drop down and like I'd be like, I don't know, I'd do more intensity. Like I feel like that's when I started to get injured more, weirdly enough.
Yeah.
So I don't know. For me personally, I like the higher mileage. It takes a little bit to get used to. I think it's beneficial for some people. But then again, as you said, like, and you, Anthony, you know, you're definitely a great example of this. Supplement those miles with, you know, like cross training, biking and swimming. And that's something obviously that you did very well over the last winter, and you got that spring. So
you did cut out a little bit, but I just heard the you described cross training, right?
yeah, basically.
Okay.
I was talking about how it helped you, with your senior year season.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I feel like a lot of runners like try to be like, oh, this is the one way. This is the one way to do it. But there's like different kind of runners, like with nutrition and stuff. Like some people can eat like have a Coke and then run a really good race. And then some people like me, if I eat bad like 2 days before the race, I'm not running that race well. Like it doesn't matter. And
I'm
like,
the opposite. I mean, I know from experience that you know how we had the ice cream machine in Ward Melville? I had two
Paul.
whole ice cream like sandwiches and 2 ice cream bars on top of the sandwiches. So I was sitting at like a nice like 3 or like 4 ice cream things, like right before like a really hard workout. And I mean, I still did pretty well.
Nice. Well,
yeah,
But it hit hard. It hit hard
Flockhart.
in like the last
yeah,
round.
yeah, but that kind of shows. I mean, it doesn't necessarily make me or Paul a better runner. That like we have to eat different and we have to do. And like, let's say between like you, Anthony, and Jonah, like just because like Jonah can do higher mileage, that doesn't necessarily make him a better runner. It makes him a different kind of runner. And like, I feel like that's overlooked a lot. Like a lot of people like they kind of like flex their mileage or like flex like, oh, I can eat this and then run really fast. Like I feel like that kind of overlooks the fact that like we're all different people, like our biology is different, like we're gonna function different and like respond different to different training and different nutrition.
Totally. And with that being said, though, I think it is important to note that there is even though that is 100% true, there is a correlation. If you're gonna run a 800, it's okay to have a little less mileage. Whereas if you're gonna run, obviously, just to put it in simple terms, the marathon, you need to have more mileage. So there is sort of like a correlation. The longer the race, the more miles you should be putting in. But that specific number is different for everyone. But
No, Anthony,
something else.
Marathon?
I am not running a marathon. But
recently,
something else I wanted to point out was Ari, because Flockhart, you said that there's different kinds of runners, and Ari, I know this past season you sort of had to become a different kind of runner. I know you spent a lot of time cross training, so you maybe want to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. So I really have to take it easy on my lungs, but trying to still maintain the fitness that I gained over the summer. So yeah, I did a lot of obviously very low mileage and a lot of biking. I went for like 60, 70 minute bike ride like every day of the week. And that was a good way to just, again, not really hurt myself as much, but still I felt like I was maintaining, not really gaining much fitness, but maintaining the fitness that I had previously gotten.
Keeping what you have. And truthfully, I think biking, I'm speaking from past experience when I got injured last year, you might lose a little bit aerobically, but you gain a lot of strength in your legs.
For sure.
Julian,
Why
uh,
are you laughing?
because it's just funny.
Laughing
You're
at me.
like you're outside in the dark. But I know you sort of also had to become a different runner this season too, right?
Yeah. I mean, this was the first real season of cross country. I mean, if you want to count last year a season, the like half season in spring we didn't even run a 5K. But I mean, I ran my first 5K this year. I'm a senior. That was an experience, especially on Second Meadow. But
Same with me.
especially summer training, I guess, is when it really kicked in with the really high mileage. Especially since, I mean, we started a few weeks later because of, I mean, Anthony, we were training for the elite meet late in June. So I hopped in like a week after because I wanted to take my week off. And I mean, the mileage, it hit me pretty bad, especially since, like, I'm not used to that. Like, and it was a different kind of hurt. But just as I started getting good, I got COVID. So that kind of erased everything. And I had to kind of rebuild back up in August. But I mean, going into this cross country season, I definitely felt like I've grown a lot in that area.
Do you remember?
I'm happy about that.
Yeah, and you definitely have. But do you specifically remember at one point when I was at a summer training practice, so I was running with you guys, and you told me, you said, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I don't know how I'm going to be top 7.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
At what point did your mindset sort of flip into, because obviously you were top 7, right?
Yeah.
At what point did that sort of flip and you knew you could do it?
Honestly, it was probably after our first race, just because like I ran the course and I felt comfortable doing it. And I was like, I can really see myself getting better at this, especially with a few more weeks of training, a few more good workouts under my belt. Like I really could see that I was going to do well. And I had a conversation with DeLuca about it. And I mean, usually those conversations go something like, oh, you're going to do this. And I'm like, Coach, I'm going to give you everything I got, but I'm not guaranteeing anything. And I don't know. I kind of just was like, yeah, I think I can go. I think I can run sub 18:30 this year. Like, and I mean, I ended up running sub 18:30. So I was happy with that.
Julian, I specifically remember a specific instance that was very similar with the 800 for you, from going from the 400 to the 800.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's I've kind of
a trend
since I was a freshman. I mean, I did that with the 400 when I was a freshman. I used to have to tell myself, like, when I was a sophomore, I'm like, all right, 400, because I used to hurdle. I used to do 55 hurdles. That's it.
Yeah.
I'd have to tell myself, like, all right, it's only 60 seconds of your life. Like, that's not even a lot of time. And now I'm telling myself, I think it's ironic because I'm walking on the line. I'm like, all right, it's only 18 minutes of my life. Like, it was a pretty big jump,
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm really glad that I ended up doing cross country and I did well this season, because I feel like it's really going to help for the indoor season, just because I've never been in this type of shape before in my life. And yeah, I don't really have the pop in my legs that I had before. I was talking to David. I mean, doing strides, it's like, ooh, I'm not that fast anymore. But that comes back quick. And I'm really glad, because I'm with the shape I'm in right now.
It's definitely worth it to sort of lose a little bit of pop in your legs, especially during cross country, because you're gaining so much strength that you can then use,
And that doesn't go away fast too. Like it doesn't. In 2 weeks, I'm going to be back to where I was with my fast twitch muscles, which is good.
Exactly.
2 plyo workouts will be right there.
Paul, what were you going to say?
I remember you.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead, Paul.
I remember Julian telling me that it's like the 60 seconds of your life thing. And then he was obviously applying it to like the 400s, but we were talking about it, and I'm like, oh, that makes it sound so much better. It's only like 5 minutes of your life for like the mile. It's only like 18 minutes of your life. It's like, you guys, that, it's a short amount of time. So you gotta like make it count for like that time that you have. Just like turn it on for that time.
I can relate to that a little bit now, because in the 8Ks that I've been running, in the last mile, I've sort of been repeating in my head, all right, you can do anything for 5 minutes. Like you just got to get through it.
That's exactly the same for me, because there was like literally a hill that was like it was like giving me like cardiac flashbacks on like this 1K I was running. I was like, okay, you're a mile and a half away, 7-ish minutes more of running. Like you can do this for 7 minutes. Like it's fun. Like you got this. Just like push through. And I think that's a good way of like looking at things. But what I was gonna comment on before, like you guys were like hitting like a good point there. It's definitely going to be a good segue into winter track for all you guys, just to have the strength of like running longer, especially for Julian, because I know a lot of 800 guys probably don't run cross country. And I'm sure the competitive ones do, but I mean, it's just going to give you that edge that a lot of middle distance guys don't really have. So yeah, you should be very excited with having a good cross season, even though you're primarily a sprinter.
So this season was an interesting season for our team because we had a lot of people step up and do really well that we weren't really expecting to. So like I want to say specifically like Julian and David, like they're sprinters, and I think in the beginning of the season, they both were kind of like, I'm just doing this in order to get in shape for winter, and I'm not a cross country runner. I'm not going to do well as a cross country runner. Mm-hmm. But it was important for us to instill the mindset that like, even though you are doing this to get into shape for winter, that doesn't mean you can't also do really well and help the team.
Yeah,
and I think those two really stepped up and did very good things.
So did John. John was a big part of the, like sprinters getting ready for winter too, I think. And he went to a bunch of the meets, and he really just gave it his all and stepped up.
As a team, we were very unified. I like a big part of the cross country season that like I really didn't experience at first, especially those first couple of weeks, was like the team mentality and stuff. Like it's a lot more like track's very individual. I feel like cross country is a lot more like, I mean, you can do well, but at the end of the day, those 7 guys, you're like brothers. You got to go out there and you got to get along. You got to work together. And I feel like I'm really glad I got to experience that because I ended up having a lot more fun with those 7 guys or 6 other guys.
As much as a 5K hurts, you know, when you cross the line, there's no better feeling than, you know, doing well with the 7 guys. You know?
Yeah, and when we were talking about people who were stepping up, someone who came to mind to me, I know you said don't say names or anything, but
no, you can if it's
if it's positive, yeah. Anthony O'Brien rose, and he rose. He finished. He finished with 17:30. He was the best on our team. That's not even negative. So I'm just gonna say it. I mean,
he's
a junior.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I heard Tony got like a 17:30. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Damn, Tony, you're doing great. What the hell? Where'd you pull that out of? Because he didn't even run in the divisions meet. So we had
I know.
So we knew that he was going to pull out like a crazy fast time, but none of us knew that it was going to be that fast.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing I saw with Tony this year that like he really grew was not just like, I mean, obviously he had a breakout season. It was amazing. But I mean, mentally, like he's not the same kid that he was a year ago. And I think that's like, I mean, like he's still pretty shy, but like to the point where like, he's gotten to the point like where I was talking to him before races. I remember at the beginning of the season, I would talk to him and he was getting really nervous. And he was like, I want to stand next to Brian because like we're running together. And that by the end of the season, I remember talking to him before the race, and he just had like a mindset like before 17:30, he was just like, let's do this, you know. And I feel like that mental part of it, which I feel like that mental growth I saw over the season, is like a huge factor in running that really fast time. And I think that's something that we've all improved on over the past year.
Yeah, especially with me. I used to shake from nerves before races, and like I would get all like my head would get cloudy. I would get really nervous. I have pretty bad race anxiety. I used to have pretty bad race anxiety until I started meditating, which has become like a really big thing for me with dealing with anxiety. Just meditating, visualizing the race. I mean, confidence in your training and what you've done for yourself and for your body is so important, and being confident in just yourself. And I know it might seem like it's so easy to say, just be confident, but to just imagine yourself at this better point and knowing you can get there because of the training you've done, it's just so important.
Yeah, I mean, there's no better thing you can do as a runner than trusting the process. And at times, it's not easy to trust the process. We've all been through ups and downs. We've all been through points in the process where we are like, why am I not doing better? But then that's when you mentally, if it's like a mental practice, like you get better at dealing with those situations. And I think that now that you guys are all seniors and me and Jonah, we're freshmen in college, it's we've had I'm not going to say we've had the most because we haven't, but we've had a decent amount of experience with that, which actually, given that I just said you guys are seniors, I kind of want to shift the conversation just a little bit because of the amount of time that we have. I want you guys to, go for it.
Remember, guys, it's all about the mindset and how you set your mind.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
All right. Go into the next thing.
So the meeting's going to end in 10 minutes. I got a 10-minute timer. So, we'll keep things meaningful, but we'll keep them quick. I wanted to ask you guys, and I want you each to sort of, even Jonah, because, we're all here, talk about your goals for the next season, but also how it feels to be a senior. This is your last year, even not in running, just in life. Are you making the most of it?
All right, I'll go first then. My goal is to gain more confidence in track because I've already gained a lot of confidence in cross country, and just to have that confidence while racing. I don't necessarily have a PR. If I go sub 4:45, that would be really cool. I mean, I would be like, that's pretty sick. But I mean, if I didn't hit that and I gained more confidence, I would still be happy with my season. I'm more worried about the mindset. I'm more worried about the mindset going into the season and finishing the season and being at a better spot than I was at the beginning of the season with training and my mindset. And yeah, that's what my goals are. If someone else wants to go now.
All right. My goal is to pull out some fast times, like kind of exactly like in the range of what James said, like 4:45s. That would be nice, 4:40s. And, just get into it, have fun at the big invitational meets like the Armory, Ocean Breeze. Those are actually happening. So that's going to be really fun to run in those. And I'm going to be really excited for that. And what you said with being a senior is just like, it hasn't hit me yet. Yeah. I know that you guys said that like it like kind of like hits you later. Lingers. But like, yeah, I haven't had it yet. So it's like I know this is like my last seasons and like I'm never gonna have another high school season of these. But it's like I'm excited though too because it's like I'm about to graduate. Like I have like a couple quarters left to go, but I mean like 3 quarters left. That's like of high school. That's it. Like I'm excited to like go into running for college. It's gonna be fun, and like I just can't wait to like finish out these like last few seasons. Like obviously I want them to last longer because I mean I'm having a great time with my friends, but
Yeah, I mean it comes to an end. You can't do anything about it except enjoy the moment. Ari, you haven't spoken that much, so give us a little bit more. What's going on?
Well, thinking about the next seasons, I'm really want to contribute to the team as much as I can. Being a senior, it kind of makes me feel like not only a senior but a captain. It makes me feel like I should, my races should be on the better side compared to the rest of the team. And especially in track for the past, like all of my track seasons, I haven't really felt like that large of contributor. I mean, last year I didn't go to counties, and then divisions I got 4 points as a member of a relay. So that's like do some math, and that's like
without those 4 points. Without the 4 points, we wouldn't have won.
Ari, this is not the confidence that we were talking about.
No, I'm talking about my confidence in the past and how this season I wanted to change and be more of I'm really doing something for the team. And then also with leadership, I would really like to be a strong leader, and do my best for the entire team.
I think that's really sort of noble of you, because in track, I forgot who said it, but someone said that it's a very individualized sport. And I mean, it is. It's up to you guys to make it not that, make it, a group and family effort. So yeah, nice.
I just want to say one thing, just a quick comment. Like, you say like a lot of your track seasons, you feel like you've underperformed. What do you think you personally want to do differently, like specifically that will make this season different?
I think what I said before about, like, at first some of our sprinters on cross country thought they were like, I'm a sprinter, I'm not a cross country guy. I in the past had that same mindset the other way around. I've said I'm a cross country guy, I'm not a track guy, I can't do well in track. And now, especially now that I missed my cross country season, I really want to dispel that mindset and say, this is my season, I'm going to do well. And then I feel like when I know that I can do well and I will do well, it really, thinking that in my mind makes everything go much better.
Good athletes adapt, and that's what you're forcing yourself to do. Julian.
Goals for winter, or
Just talk about like your, not even winter, spring goals, just any goals you got, and sort of just how it feels to be a senior.
Well, I mean, I think right now one of my big goals is I want to really help contribute to our team in general, but really specifically our relays, because I think we have the best relay depth between the 4x4, 4x8, and if we want to run it a 4x mile, which I think we'd be pretty good at, in Suffolk County, like just depth wise, because we got a killer 4x4. A 4x8 is going to be deadly again. We got the best 4x8 in the county. I mean, we do. I don't know. I'm really excited for that. Another big thing I'm going to try and work on is, I feel like as a senior now, going back to that, I mean, it's scary. I mean, I finished cross country, and this was my first real season. Like I said before, I mean, we had kind of half a season last year, and I finished it, and I'm like, wow, I'm never running cross country again. And I never thought I would be sad when I said those words. I always, in my head, I pictured when I thought that I was going to be like, but I mean, I don't know. I was sad. And I want to try and make a difference as a senior. And I remember the seniors had a big impact on me when I was a freshman. So especially some of the freshmen this year, I want to try and pass down the culture. I know some of the other guys are doing it too, that like DeLuca's kind of set on us, because I feel like we kind of have a winning culture now. And I feel like that started with you guys. And I'm really excited about where this team's going to go in the future. And I don't want to just be a part of it this year. I want that to carry on for many years.
Have an impact.
Yes.
That's fantastic. Yeah, thank you. We have 2 minutes, 50 seconds left, so I'm going to put the floor to Jonah. Do you have anything you want to say?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, like what Julian was saying, passing down a legacy, like seeing you guys do this, and like you talk about a winning culture, like you guys have no clue. I mean, I'm sure some of you have a clue, but literally 2-3 years ago, this team was, let's be real, we were nothing. Like we had guys, our top guys weren't even running legitimately. Like it was bad. Like we just, as a team, we felt unfocused and all over the place, and I think it got to a point where it was just like some guys gave up, and I remember as like being a sophomore and Caleb Wheeler talking to us a lot. We had a lot of long runs with him, and just him telling us, like, if you really want it, you're going to go get it. And you're going to change the culture of Ward Melville running. And as seniors, I mean, look what we did. We won divisions for the first time in 17 years in cross country. We won divisions in the 4x8. We won divisions as a team. I mean, I think it's just, it's really awesome to see how much you guys, want to continue this culture of winning and excellence, and it's just great. So I'm glad we could inspire you guys, and I'm glad you could carry that torch for Ward Melville for years to come. So it's just I'm really proud of you guys.
Well, DeLuca even talked about that, like saying like next year he wanted us to all run the time trials. Like I remember a couple years ago, he wouldn't have like you guys like run like the time trials for like the mile and stuff, and even last year. But this year he's having everybody run the time trials, and he's actually having cuts. Like you need to run a 6:30 mile.
We have about a minute left, so
yeah, you could say that we got a head start on developing the team culture. Yes, we finished with the fun.
Listen, guys,
running podcast. Check it out on Spotify.
I'm really sorry to cut this short because we're having a great conversation, but we do have less than a minute left. It doesn't even give me the second, so this could cut out mid-sentence for me. But thank you guys for coming on. It's been great just sort of like reminiscing about all this and looking ahead for you guys.
Looking ahead start.
Looking ahead at head start. Yeah, but this has been episode either 7 or 8. I don't remember, but
I believe it's 8.
So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for taking part.
Thank you guys, everybody.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. I'm about to listen to